Hello and welcome to another episode of Car Talk. Now this time I want to talk about clones and tribute cars. Now what I'm going to say here is there's nothing wrong with clones or tributes. Unless you're trying to pass it off as a real thing, then that's a problem. And I've come across this from time to time where people are trying to sell something that's not really what it is. And people just not admitting to what they have. And that's where the issues come up. Now, obviously, I got a 68 GTO right there, and that is a real 242 GTO. As a true GTO, and that's cool. GTOs are cool. People want a GTO. Now, Le Mans, not so many people want, but of course, the Le Mans and Tempest are cloned into GTOs. I don't see a problem with that, because in hot rodding, you build what you want. And, well, if you can't afford a GTO, you can probably afford a Le Mans or Tempest and build it into what you want. Again, nothing wrong with that. It's hot rodding. You build what you want. The issue is when you try to sell it and pass it off to someone else and say it's a GTO when it's not. I also have the problem whereas if someone had one and you can tell it's a Le Mans or a Tempest, and they said, no, it's a real GTO. You're looking at the VIN tag and you see the numbers and you know it's not a GTO. There's no shame in admitting it's a clone. There should be no shame. Because again, not everyone is lucky enough to have a real GTO. The only reason I have this is because I've had it for a long time, and I got it 15 years ago, back when it was way cheaper. I cannot afford this car now. So it would not shame me if I didn't have one now to have a Le Mans. No shame in that. Le Mans is still a cool car, even if you just leave it a Le Mans. Still a cool car. Tempest, still a cool car. In fact, I like a Tempest better than a Le Mans just because of the name. I like the Tempest name. But again, no shame in either one. No shame in cloning. Again, as long as you're up front, not trying to pass it off as a real deal and screw someone over, because that's just not cool. Now, tribute cars. Tribute cars also kind of get down on because they're also considered clones, but not really. Sometimes a tribute car is more of a homage, tribute, obviously, to a car that was or doesn't exist, you know? Like, let's say a 69 Trans Am. Wonderful car. I will never probably ever be rich enough to be able to afford a real deal 69 Trans Am. Probably never have it. And if I had one, I probably wouldn't like to have it. And I probably wouldn't want one even if I could afford it, because I'd be afraid to drive it. So here's where the clone and tribute comes in play. Is I'd rather have a 69 Firebird cloned into a 69 Trans Am, because I wouldn't be as afraid to drive it. And I have a feeling most people feel the same way. The real 69 Trans Am you're going to probably put up in a storage building or shop somewhere and never drive it, and what's the point of having it then to me? So I'd rather have the Firebird cloned, drive it, and play with it and enjoy it. Now another tribute is tribute to things that's never existed. I've done this many a times, especially on these trucks. And I don't see an issue with it, again, as long as you're not passing off as a real thing. Such as when this was back, when it had a Chevy in it, when I got done with it, it was an SS, what I called an SS Tribute. They didn't make an SS, but it'd been cool if they did. And I did another one too. Both of them are pretty cool examples of, what GM probably could have done if they would have put an SS truck out those years. A lot of people think it's cool. A lot of people think it's, they want to start getting off a rant. Well, that never existed, blah, blah, blah. Well, who cares? It's hot rodding. I made something that didn't exist. It's more of a tribute to what could have existed. Not a problem as long as you're not trying to pass it off as a real deal. So. Again, nothing wrong with clones and tributes. Especially if you're budget building don't have the money for the real deal, or if you actually want to truly enjoy a car, you like the look of the rare car, but you just don't want to take the risk of playing with it and damaging it, because if you have something that is all original, once it's wrecked, it's really not original anymore. So, you know, you'd rather have a clone to go play with. That way, you know, if you got to buy a brand new reproduction fender and have it painted, well, now it's a reproduction fender. Well, who cares? It's not the real deal. It's a clone. So you can go out and play with it, enjoy it, and have fun. Now, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Car Talk. As always, thanks for watching.